Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone.
Welcome back to Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank podcast. Almost this podcast, Lane Frank. We're now on episode number 53, everybody. As we're 53 episodes through, the NBA is back, everybody. We got our NBA special coming for you. MLB playoffs heating up, NFL and college football. What a great week we had, and so much more. Stay tuned. Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank, episode 53. Let's hop into it. Now, let's start for episode 53, how we always do with the headlines in the NBA. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff to run by with you in the NBA. Ben Simmons suspended for a game because, apparently, a cell phone in his pocket during practice, not paying practices well enough. They should trade him. They should trade him this minute, okay? They should. And, Sixers not going to make the conference finals here, not going to make the finals here, may not even make the semifinals. You could say maybe not even make the playoffs. Okay, it's just, this team, the chemistry's not there, a bunch of stuff's not there, and then Rich Paul said if Ben Simmons is gone, then he's going to try and get Tyrese Maxey gone. That's your bright star. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say here. Sixers in a bit of a dilemma here. Maybe we'll talk more about it later. But it's interesting to think about here. Ben Simmons, when we all thought all was good, he came back to Philadelphia, we're good. No. Doc Rivers suspends him for one game. Ben Simmons is going to be out first game of the season. His first suspension of his career. Interesting to think about here. And then you say down the line in the season, Joel Embiid gets hurt. Who do you have? You really don't have many players. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say here. That's about it on my take on Philadelphia 76ers. But Kyrie Irving, everybody, it's official. He's not going to start the NBA season. Will he play at all? Okay, maybe we'll talk about it later. Okay, I'm going to give out my MVP. My finals prediction, is it with the Nets? Is it with Kyrie Irving? Is it with somebody else? We'll talk more about that later. But it's interesting to think about here. Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets not going to start the season, not going to play the first game of the season against the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, excited to watch that game. But the NBA is back, everybody. Okay, just not much talk about the games right now, but next week we're going to have a whole progress report on the NBA, top 5 teams of the NBA coming next week. NBA award predictions still coming up. Stay tuned. Let's move to the NFL, everybody, where we had an action-packed weekend. Okay, let me start by saying this. How about them Cowboys, everybody? I'm not a Cowboys fan. I've never been a Cowboys fan. I'm a Giants fan. But they're 5-1. And what did I say before the season? I said they would start 5-1. I said they would lose their first game to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then they would win every single game until the Kansas City Chiefs game. Okay, because they haven't played a playoff team from last year yet. People need to realize that. The Dallas Cowboys haven't played a playoff team from last year yet. They haven't beat a playoff team from last year yet. Let me say that. They haven't beat a playoff team from last year yet. They've only played one. It was Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they lost. They put up a good fight, but they lost. Trayvon Diggs, you can say, he's such a great player. He's the best DB in the NFL. No. You realize Trayvon Diggs is on pace to give up the most yards in the NFL season? Yeah, you can say, he makes cool plays, gets interceptions. I'll take Jair Alexander over Trayvon Diggs. I'll take Jalen Ramsey over Trayvon Diggs. 10 times that time. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say here. Gets burned way too much, Trayvon Diggs. He makes that one splash play, but then he gives up 70-yard touchdown next drive. That's exactly what happened in that Patriots game. Yeah, the Cowboys won, but they're 5-1. Interesting to think about here. We got a Cowboys segment coming up at the end of the episode. Stay tuned for that. But Cowboys off to a great start, 5-1, everybody. Okay, Miami Dolphins. We did our whole thing on the Dolphins last week. The Dolphins dilemma. Are they good? Is Brian Flores a bad coach? Is Tua the right guy? Tua returns this week in London, and they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who hadn't won a game in over a year, who had pretty much a college team, you can say. They have a college coach. They had a college quarterback from last year. They have college players in that team still. It seems like that. They almost played like a college team the first 5 games of the season. But they showed up in Game 6, everybody. Okay, beating Miami Dolphins. Matthew Wright, great kicker. Finally got the king issues figured out. Cut Josh Lambo. Picked up Matthew Wright, kicker from UCF. But just interesting thing to think about here. Dolphins 1-5. You do realize that. They're statistically the second worst team in the NFL. All I'm trying to say here, this is a team who had 10 wins last year. 10 wins. They had 6 losses. They have 5 of their first 6 games of the season. That's all I'm trying to say here. And their one win is by 1 point to a rookie quarterback in his first game of the season. Okay? Interesting thing to think about here. Miami Dolphins. Doing terrible to start the season. They're not going to rebound from this. Tua Tagovailoa will not be the starting quarterback of this team next year. He will not. It's going to be Deshaun Watson. It's going to be Desmond. It's going to be Carson Strong. It's going to be somebody else. Maybe an NFL draft quarterback. Sam Howell. Whoever you want to say. JT Daniels. It's going to be somebody else. And they might trade Tua. We're all going to figure it out this offseason. Okay? I know we're only in Game 6. The Miami Dolphins. Just looking terrible so far. Start of the season. But one team, is looking great. The Baltimore Ravens. I said 2 weeks ago, best team in the NFL. Everyone's calling me crazy. What about the Cardinals? What about the Chargers? What about everybody else? No. Ravens are the best team in the NFL. They're 5-1, one loss on the season, in the first game of the season, in the game they blew, which they should have won against the Las Vegas Raiders. They outplayed the Raiders in that game. Raiders beat them in overtime. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say here. Ravens are the best team in the NFL. There's no debating me on that. Beat the Chargers out of the water. What is it, 34-6? Great game by Ravens defense. Great game by Lamar Jackson. Okay, Lamar Jackson just managed the game well. Okay, that's all he had to do in that game. And then last week, he had an insane game against the Colts. When they need Lamar to step up, he steps up. When they need Lamar to just take a little bit backseat and win the game with their defense, running game, and all that, they get it done. Okay, you could say, before the season, they had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. They're the rest of these the top two running backs. They brought on Latavius Murray. They brought on Le'Veon Bell. And Tyson Williams, rookie running back, has showed to be great. Okay, that's what I love to see out of this Ravens team. They're going to make the Super Bowl. Maybe not win it. They're going to play the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl prediction right now. But Baltimore Ravens off to a great start to the season. Okay, the Browns are going to struggle, everybody. Okay, OBJ's out. Baker's hurt. Okay, they got an easy game this week pretty much against the Broncos. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Maybe they snap this week. Maybe they don't. I want to talk about the Browns later episode. Big segment coming up about the Cleveland Browns this week. We're going to hear Cleveland Browns Spotlight, talk about some things there. But Cleveland Browns struggling a little bit here. Back-to-back losses, picking up their third loss this season. 2 weeks ago, 3-1. 2 games above 500. Right now, they are 500. Okay, so I'm trying to say here, Cleveland Browns not doing so great in their last couple games. Okay, just got blown out of the water by the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk more about that later. But their division rival, the Steelers, everybody. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers go up against the Seahawks, and they win that game. It was a different game, okay, because you got pretty much Big Ben is in the top 32 quarterback in the NFL right now. I would probably take a backup quarterback over Big Ben right now. You could probably take Mitchell Trubisky, you could say, or just one of the best backups in the NFL. I'm trying to think right now. Jacoby Brissett was fine this year. I mean, didn't get that many wins, but just interesting to think about here. Big Ben not doing great this season, but showed resilience. It was his first game without Juju Smith-Schuster in a long time. Okay, maybe his best wide receiver target, and they won against the Geno Smith-led Seahawks, if he's even a leader for them. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say here. And then just interesting to think about here, the running game is not going to go great for Seattle right now. Alex Collins, their backup running back hurt. Chris Carson, their starting running back hurt. Russell Wilson, their best running threat, is also out. Their quarterback. Okay, so just interesting things about here. Okay, are the Seahawks going to make the playoffs here? Leave your answer in the comment section. That's about for the headlines this week. Now, Sports NFL Game Day, everybody. We had an eventful week in the NFL last week. We still have been below average on our picks this year. Okay, I'm not satisfied with being 5-4, which we were last week. I'm not satisfied with being 6-3. We want that perfect record or one loss. We're shooting for that perfect record, though. Let's hop into it. Thursday night football, Browns are a little sneak peek of it. Give me the Browns in this one. I don't care if Baker Mayfield's hurt. You can see Teddy Bridgewater go off in this game and win the game, but give me the Browns in this one. Chiefs, Titans, everybody. Okay, we're going to learn a lot about this Chiefs team this week. We're going to learn a lot. If they win this game, they're fine. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to get 12 wins. They're going to get 13 wins, 14 wins, whatever it might be. But they lose, we got some thinking to do. Okay, this Titans team is a good team. Can they stop the run? Probably not, but can they contain Ryan Tannehill? Interesting thing to think about here. Ryan Tannehill, he's going to be out his left tackle. Taylor one. They got pretty depleted Monday Night Football. Their top rookie, their first-round pick, Caleb Farley, is going to be out with torn ACL. Titans have rough drafting issues. Last year, their first-round pick, Isaiah Wilson, only played one game, cut him after the season, trade him after the season. Now, Caleb Farley tore his ACL. You got Taylor Lewan probably out for the rest of the season. Interesting thing to think about here in Tennessee. But I got the Chiefs in this one. I'm hoping my Kansas City guys can get it done. Well, if they can't, we got some thinking to do. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. All right, let's speed things up here. Bengals, Ravens, everybody. All right, this is going to be a good game. Bengals are 4-1, everybody. Okay? They were a terrible team last year, even with Joe Burrow at quarterback. They're 4-1. They have a better record than the Browns. I guarantee you the Bengals have a better record than your favorite team. They probably do. But give me the Ravens in this one. Gonna win this one. I love this Ravens team. I really do. And I think they win this one. Bears, Bucks. Okay, this is going to be a good game. And last year, Bears beat the Bucks, but that was with Nick Foles. This is with Justin Fields, a rookie quarterback, Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles. Everybody figures him out in this game, and he doesn't run for anything. I think they get shut down. No running game, really. Khalil Herbert and Damian Williams. You could say Khalil Herbert can go off like he did last week, but I don't see it. Give me the Bucks in this one, winning, but close. Colts 49ers, everybody. Okay, this is going to be a good game. Colts, flying under the radar, everybody. Okay, they only have 2 wins in the season, but they had a 20-point lead against the Ravens, which they blew, and then they had a good game against the Texans last week. They're picking some things up. Jonathan Taylor has maybe had the best 2-game stretch of his career so far. I mean, just playing great. Jonathan Taylor, 2 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. But give me the 49ers in this one. It might be Trey Lance, might be Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever you want to see here. I do think 49ers defense gets it done, though. Maybe stops Jonathan Taylor's hot streak, but give me the 49ers this one. Saints Seahawks, Monday Night Football. It's going to be a good game. Last game we're going to pick right here. Okay, Saints, good team. And James Winston, quarterback, good win last week. They're going to play well in this game. And I think the Saints do get it done. Geno Smith, not a good quarterback. I made the mistake last week of picking the Seahawks to beat the Steelers, and they didn't come close to it. Okay? You'd say they lost by 3 points. Geno Smith played terrible. He played horrendous. He didn't play well. DK Metcalf didn't play well. You can see all the things going on with Shannon Sharp. DK Metcalf, that's immature. He's a third-year player. DK Metcalf, you'd say he's a veteran, maybe you want to say here. He's not. Okay? I have the Saints in this one, taking the dub. Okay? Sean Payton is gonna coach well in this game. He will. So give me the Saints in this one. All Monday Night Football. That's about for Schoolyard Sports NFL game this week. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, top 5, everybody. This week's top 5 is top 5 players in college football. Okay, it's not the Heisman race. This isn't my Heisman race. In the Heisman race, I would have Bryce Young, Matt Corral, all these guys. And that's not saying I'm not going to have them in this list. This is the top 5 players in college football. I don't care about positions. I don't care about your team's record. I don't care about your stats that much. I only care about how you're playing on the field and how you're matching up against others. I see a lot of run after catch with Bryce Young, okay? You hit Jameson Williams on a slant and he runs for 8 yards. That's really all I see with Bryce Young, okay? Because he hasn't shown his ability to be under pressure this year, and when he did in the Texas A&M game, he didn't do that well. Okay, I know they scored 30-plus points, but just interesting to think about here, I don't have Bryce Young on this list. There you go. But top 5 players in college football right now. Let's hop into it. My first honorable mention right here is going to be Kyle Hamilton. Safety, Notre Dame had 2 picks in that Florida State game, and then people were saying, oh, he's going to be the first overall pick, everything like that. He's a great player. Declined a little bit, because Notre Dame's declined a little bit in the past few weeks. Well, still have only 1 loss this season to Cincinnati, but I am putting Kyle Hamilton as the 6th best player in college football, my only honorable mention. But now, let's hop into it. The 5th best player in college football, everybody, is from my Michigan Wolverines, Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, 6 sacks in the season. The highest graded defensive player in the country. He is. Projected to be a top 5 pick in this year's NFL draft. And I'm so happy about it. Aiden Hutchinson is an amazing player of my Michigan Wolverines. He just played great, okay? He might have the most sacks, but he gets the most QB hits. He gets the most pressure. He gets all that. One of the best defensive players in the country, graded by PFF, all those other sites. Pro Football Focus, everywhere. Aiden Hutchinson, the 5th best player in college football from my Michigan Wolverines. Number 4, Jordan Davis, defensive lineman from Georgia, everybody. Okay, you could say he might even be number 1 in the Heisman race right now. I mean, what he does is a freak of nature. He's 6'6", 330-plus pounds, okay? And he runs better than most people. It's just crazy to think about. Jordan Davis is an amazing player. He really is. So I think Jordan Davis is the 4th best player in college football, one of the most fearsome, okay? One of the most freak athletes in sports right now, okay? I'll say that right there. Jordan Davis, 4th best player in college football. Going to be a high pick in this year's NFL draft. Number 3, Bijan Robinson, a running back, Texas. Bijan Robinson's only a sophomore, everybody, and he's a great running back. 3rd best player in college football is Bijan Robinson. Texas not doing so well this year. And like I said, it's not going off of your team's record. I'm going off of how you're playing, okay? How your stats are, everything is. That's what I'm going off of here. How I'm being great on everything, okay? Bijan Robinson is the 3rd best player in college football. No big bad. Number 2, Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss. Like I said, no Bryce Young on this list. Matt Corral's the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in college football right now. He is, okay? Matt Corral, number 2, 2nd best player in college football. He's going to be hurt this week. Probably won't play against LSU, but, you might not have to just because everything going on with the LSU program. We'll talk more about later. Ed Orgeron got a good win against Florida this week, but that's besides the point. Matt Corral is the 2nd best player in college football right now. It'd be bad. Now, number 1, you can bait me on this. You can comment. You can say this is the worst take ever. But I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. Caleb Williams will be better than Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and Jalen Hurts. He'll be a better NFL quarterback than them all. What has Baker done so far in the NFL? He's been a game manager. What's Jalen Hurts done in the NFL so far? He's been a game manager. Kyler Murray's been an MVP candidate, but I think Caleb Williams can be better than all of them in the NFL and in college football. I think Caleb Williams can win the Heisman this year if it's not too late. I think Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. You can say, whoa, we've only seen 1.5 game out of this guy. He's been amazing in those 1.5 game. Okay, you know how hard it is in your first career half to go down 21 points in one of the biggest rivalry games of the year. Probably OU's biggest game of the year is against Texas. They were down 28-7, and they put a true freshman who didn't play organized football the previous year because the season was canceled. And he leads them to a victory. That's what I'm trying to say here. Comeback victory. And then next week, he goes against TCU, another good team. Gets the start and has 5 total touchdowns. Looked like Superman. I watched that game. He had 30-yard touchdowns. He had like 3 incompletions, 2 of them being dropped touchdowns. Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. Like I said, this isn't Heisman races. If this was Heisman races, Bryce Young would be on there. Caleb Williams wouldn't. Aiden Hutchinson wouldn't. Jordan Davis would probably be higher. Kyle Hamilton wouldn't be here. Bijan Robinson wouldn't be here. That's all I'm trying to say here. Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. Superman. You can debate me on it. You can comment. You can say whatever you want. But Caleb Williams is the best player in college football. That's about for top 5 this week. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, did you know, everybody? This week's Did You Know It's again. We got the NBA starting now. We got the NBA season starting this week. And we all love social media. What's our favorite social media? But you could say Instagram, Twitter. Oh, let's talk about Twitter here for a second. Okay. Did you know, what's the Twitter bird logo? Okay, it's a bird. Did you know the Twitter bird is named after Larry Bird? It's in honor of Larry Bird. It's after Larry Bird. Did you know that? Leave that in the comment section. That's about for Did You Know this week. Okay, like I said, this is the NBA special. NBA season starting this week. What do we all have to do? We all have to predict the NBA season. So let's predict the NBA award show. This is the Schoolyard Sports 2021-2022 NBA season award show. Let's hop into it. Who's going to be this year's New York Knicks? I want to make some fun awards and then we'll get into most improved, all that type of rookie of the year, MVP, all that type of stuff. Who's going to be this year's New York Knicks? It's going to be the Sacramento Kings. You hear today, oh, Marvin Bagley's not in their rotation. Why didn't they just trade him? It's just going to decrease trade value. But I like this team. Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. I think they have a chance to be this year's New York Knicks. They can sneak in there as a 6 seed, 7 seed, 5 seed. They're not going to get the 4 seed. Whatever it might be, they can be sleeper teams here like the New York Knicks were last year. Sacramento Kings are going to be this year's New York Knicks. Now, better luck next year. That's why I'm going to call this award better luck next year. Because this is going to be the worst team in the NBA this year. And it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, you could say the Orlando Magic, but I think Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and RJ Hampton's going to be an amazing backcourt for the future. And I think it'll show some flash this year, have a good season, maybe get 30 wins, whatever it might be. But the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have a rough season. Colin Sexton's situation. Is he going to be on the team? Is he going to play? Is he going to get traded the trade deadline? Darius Garland, everything like that. And then Evan Mobley's just raw. He looked fine in the summer league. He's just a raw player. He's not going to have an amazing rookie year. You know, he's going to average 13 points and 10 rebounds, whatever it might be. But Evan Mobley, good player. Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to say better luck next year. You're going to be the worst team in the NBA this year. Now, Mr. Improved, my last fun word here. Let's call who's going to be Mr. Improved this year. It's going to be Cam Reddish. Okay, you know, we saw some players last year like Julius Randle be most improved. I'm not saying Cam Reddish can be most improved, but he could be maybe like Cam Reddish didn't really play much that last year. I don't even think he's qualified for most improved because he didn't play that much last year. But Cam Reddish can improve so much this year. Okay, he's going to be a sleeper player for maybe an amazing award, 3-point contest, whatever it might be. He's a great player. Cam Reddish really hasn't been great so far in his NBA career. You know, got overshadowed in college, getting overshadowed in the NBA. But I think this is the year Cam Reddish shows out. He's going to be Mr. Improved this year. Not most improved, Mr. Improved. That's our Schoolyard Sports Award. Cam Reddish, he will be that this year. Now, let's get into the real awards here. Let's get some things. Rookie of the Year is going to be my NBA Rookie of the Year. Cade Cunningham's not going to play the first game of the season. Jalen Suggs probably won't win Rookie of the Year. Scotty Barnes definitely won't. Evan Mobley definitely won't. But who will? Jalen Green, shooting guard of the Houston Rockets. That's going to be a great backcourt. Kevin Porter, Josh Christopher, Jalen Green. Missing a couple guys, but still. Jalen Green is going to be a superstar. He's going to average 20 points this year, let's call it. Maybe 20 points, whatever it might be. He's going to average 20 points this year. He's probably going to average 5 assists, 8 rebounds, whatever it might be. He's going to have a great season, Jalen Green. He's going to make all-rookie first team, as expected. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. He might even make the 3-point contest, dunk contest, whatever it might be. He's going to have a great year, Jalen Green. You know, you could say long shot for the All-Star game. That's maybe taking it a little too far. But Jalen Green is my pick for Rookie of the Year this year. Maybe another team to look out for. Houston Rockets, Kevin Porter, Josh Christopher, Albert Sengun, new rookie or whatever. Jalen Green, a couple other guys. Interesting team to think about, but Jalen Green does win Rookie of the Year this year over all his peers as rookie. Jalen Green is my pick for Rookie of the Year this year. Now, my MVP Schoolyard Sports 2021-2022 NBA season MVP is, drumroll please, James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets, everybody. Okay, it's going to be James Harden. He's going to play point guard this year, and when he played point guard last year, he excelled. He looked great. Just maybe it was a little too late for him to be MVP. It was a little bit out of shape last year, but he's going to be in shape this year. He's going to win the MVP this year. I think James Harden, I think the Nets might even be a better team with just James Harden and Kevin Durant. I think they might be. Okay, they weren't fully healthy for Game 7, the semifinals last year, and that's why they lost. But they will be this year, and they will. Okay, I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets to beat the Milwaukee Bucks this year in this conference finals, whatever it might be. And that segues into our next NBA award and our last NBA award. Who is my NBA Finals champion? It's going to be the Nets in the finals. It might be going up against the Lakers, might be going up against Suns, but Nets are going to win the East. And, drumroll please, my NBA champion of this season, Schoolyard Sports 2021-2022 NBA season champion. Last year, it was the Milwaukee Bucks beating near Brooklyn Nets. This year, it's the Brooklyn Nets beating the Milwaukee Bucks, advancing to the finals, and the Brooklyn Nets winning the NBA championship this year without Kyrie Irving. I think this team's better without Kyrie Irving. I really do. I love James Harden. I love Kevin Durant. I love all the guys on this team. Okay? So I'm trying to say, even Kyrie Irving doesn't play this year, they win the NBA championship. They might, and if Kyrie Irving does play this year, maybe they don't win an NBA championship because maybe he hinders them. Okay? Never know. That's about for my 2021 Schoolyard Sports 2021-2022 NBA season award show, everybody. We're going to do our top 5 teams in the NBA next week, but that's about the NBA award show this year. Stay tuned. Somewhere to come at Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank, episode 53. Now, I love to make hot takes on the show, on this channel, on this podcast. Okay, I love to make hot takes. And I'm going to throw out a huge hot take right here. The Cleveland Browns. We talk a lot about the Browns in this show. We talk a lot about Browns on this episode. How they don't have a running game. How they don't have this. How they don't have that. The Cleveland Browns will not make the playoffs this year. You can call me crazy and say, whoa, how are the Cleveland Browns not making the playoffs this year? Let me run it by you. You got a tough schedule. You're going to win this week. You're going to get to 4-3. You are. But you're not going to make the playoffs. You play the Ravens back-to-back games, yeah. You play against the Ravens, and then you have a bye week, and then you play against the Ravens again. You're probably going to lose both those games, even with that bye week. You can call me crazy, you will. No debate about it. You will lose both those games. So that's already 2 back-to-back losses. And then that lowers your team morale. You got Kareem Hunt heading to the IR. You got Nick Chubb soon headed to the IR, or maybe missed this week. Kareem Hunt's already on the IR. Okay? You got no passing game with Baker being hurt. And even with Baker health, he's a game manager. Needs your running backs. Needs your running game. That's what Baker Mayfield is. Didn't show that in college, but he's shown that in the NFL. Baker Mayfield, interesting player. But who's the most intriguing player on this team? Who got hurt this week? It's Odell Beckham Jr. Okay? I was planning to say this more before he got hurt, but I'm even happy to say it now. Okay? Odell Beckham Jr. is officially a Dez Bryant. He's the Dez Bryant of the NFL right now. Dez Bryant's not on the team, but he is. That's what happens when you switch from your big-time team. Dez Bryant leaves the Dallas Cowboys, goes out of the NFL for a little bit, and then he's gone. Okay, he's not a superstar anymore. He's not all Pro Bowl. He's not an All-Pro. He's none of that. Odell Beckham Jr. has a great couple years with the Giants. Could have just stuck it out one more year with Pat Shurmur. But no. He wanted to go with his boys and Baker and then lose them in playoffs. Not only win one playoff game, all right? It's pretty fun to have Daniel Jones and Odell Beckham Jr., but Odell Beckham Jr. has shown nothing with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are better without Odell Beckham Jr. That showed last year. Literally right after that Odell Beckham Jr. injury happened last year. Baker Mayfield hadn't thrown a pick in a while, and then he threw a completion, and then I don't think he had an incompletion for the rest of the game except for the spike ball at the end. And then he had that 29-yard touchdown DPJ, Don Peoples-Jones, which wouldn't have happened if Odell Beckham Jr. was in the game. Okay, Don Peoples-Jones had a Hail Mary this week from Baker Mayfield. But interesting things to think about in Cleveland. Andrew Berry, I like their GM. I like Kevin Stefanski. I like this management and this new management rolling out in Cleveland, the Haslam family, everything like that. But we got a Browns situation going on here, everybody. That's about for my Browns hot take this year. The Cleveland Browns. You won't be seeing them in January this year. You might be week 18, but not in the playoffs. Nothing beyond that. That's about for my Cleveland Browns hot take this year. That's about for that this week. Now, college football showcase, everybody. Okay, we had a great week of college football last week. We did. Ed Orgeron got fired even after beating Florida because it is all in the works. But Ed Orgeron is as LSU head coach. Maybe we'll talk next week on some possible replacements. Maybe you could say Luke Fickell, Matt Campbell, Mel Tucker from Michigan State, whatever it might be. Mel Tucker's a great coach and could be great at LSU. Was great with Georgia as their defense coordinator. Great recruiter in the South. Better than Michigan recruiting in Louisiana. He is. And I think that would be a great job for Mel Tucker. I think they should hire Mel Tucker. I think he should be at the top of the board because Mel Tucker is a great coach, but that's besides the point. Okay? Ed Orgeron is not as the LSU head coach, but that was pretty much the only big news in college football this week besides games. We already talked about Caleb Williams was amazing. But let's hop into our Schoolyard Sports Top 25 this week. Let's get into it. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs staying there. Number 2, Cincinnati. 3, Oklahoma. 4, Alabama. 5, Michigan. 6, Ohio State. 7, Michigan State. 8, Penn State. 9, Oklahoma State. 10, Ole Miss. 11, Iowa. 12, Coastal Carolina. 13, Wake Forest. 14, Oregon. 15, Texas A&M. 16, Kentucky. 17, Notre Dame. 18, Pitt. 19, North Carolina State. 20, Baylor. 21, SMU. 22, Auburn. 23, UTSA. 24, Purdue. And 25, San Diego State, everybody. Okay, let's break it down here a little bit. San Diego State's undefeated. I'm putting them at 25. Purdue had a great win against Iowa last week, which I predicted on the Schoolyard Sports Instagram. If you're following that, you got a great Ben tip. But Purdue, 24th best team in the country. 23, UTSA, undefeated. Great team in Conference USA. The second best team in Conference USA. UTEP Myers of El Paso are the best team in Conference USA, everybody. That's going to be a great November 6th showdown, UTSA and UTEP. UTEP only has one loss. But 22 Auburn, 21 SMU. Like I said, SMU off to a great start to the season, undefeated, has a win against TCU. 20 Baylor, just great wins against BYU this week. 19 North Carolina State, still riding high off that Clemson win. 18 Pitt, probably the best team in the ACC, and then you could say Wake Forest, even though they're undefeated, but just interesting to think about there. Coastal Carolina not dropping them too much. Iowa dropping 8 spots in our top 25 from last week. They were number 3 last week, number 11 this week, as in most polls. Number 10, Ole Miss moving back into that top 10. Oklahoma State making their first appearance in the top 10. Michigan State moving all the way up to number 7. Penn State dropping a little bit there after that, after Iowa losing, because that's an Iowa loss to them, and then Iowa just lost to an unranked Purdue team. I got my Michigan Wolverines at number 5, Alabama at number 4, moving up a little bit, moving up 1 spot because the Iowa lost. Michigan Wolverines moving up 1 spot, and then Oklahoma at 3, Cincinnati staying at 2. Cincinnati's the second best team in the country. There's no debating me on that. They are. And then number 1, your Georgia Bulldogs, everybody. That's about from my Schoolyard Sports Top 25 this week. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, let's do our second part of college football check. It's the games of the week. No, we do our lock of the week first, and then we pick the game of the week. My lock of the week this week is Oklahoma State, number 9 ranked team in the country, in my rankings, beating, they're they're 7-point underdogs to an unranked 2-loss Iowa State team. That's ridiculous. That's bogus. You can say, Iowa State won last week against Kansas State. That's bogus, in my opinion. Oklahoma State being 7-point underdogs. They're a top 10 team. They're undefeated. This is an easy lock of the week for me. Give me Oklahoma State +7. Now, the game of the week, everybody. Oregon, UCLA, great West Coast matchup. College game day is going to be out there. Everybody's going to be out there. Not so many great college football games this week, but this is the best game. It is. Oregon, UCLA. Who wins it? The Oregon didn't look great on Friday night. They didn't. I'll say it. Dorian Thompson-Robinson picking things up here. 5-2 UCLA against 6-1 Oregon. Who am I picking here? I think the UCLA Bruins at home get the dub. Okay? In the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena. They get the win over Oregon. They do. Okay, it's going to be a back-and-forth game because I don't think Oregon's offense clutch enough. You could see Ty Thompson, 5-star freshman, coming into this game. You could, if they get down by a lot and they have to come back. Okay, you could see that. I think Ty Thompson's a much better quarterback than Anthony Brown, but I don't know why they won't start Ty Thompson over Anthony Brown. Offense has been terrible. They had to get, and then defense also. They had to get a goal line stop against Cal last week, a 1-4 Cal team. Okay, now they're 1-5. Just interesting stuff to think about here. I'm taking the UCLA Bruins to beat Oregon this week. That's about our College Football Showcase this week. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Now, I'm going to leave you with this right here, at the buzzer. Schedules make seasons, everybody. Okay? What I mean by that is, the Dallas Cowboys are fake. You say, how do you go from schedules make seasons to saying Dallas Cowboys are fake? Because the Dallas Cowboys schedule is so easy. In the NFC least, whatever it might be with the Cowboys. Okay? It's the worst division in football besides the Cowboys. Okay? But they're 5-1 to start the season. Everybody's going crazy. I said before the season the Cowboys would start 5-1. I didn't say they would be a good team, though. Did I? Okay. Cowboys are yet to beat a team that made the playoffs last year. They haven't. Okay? They've played one team who made the playoffs last year. It was Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost that game. Their only loss this season is to the only team that they played that made the playoffs last year. Yeah, it was the Super Bowl champions, but just interesting thing to think about here. Dallas Cowboys are fake. They're going to get 12 wins because of that terrible division. Okay, but they're going to lose a couple games in line. They're going to lose some stupid games. Okay, they are. They're going to lose. They're probably going to win every game up until that Kansas City Chiefs game. But after the Kansas City Chiefs game, they're going to lose some morale. They're going to get some losses. Probably going to lose one game to Washington. They're probably going to lose to Raiders the next week. Whatever it might be. Just interesting to think about here. Okay, play Denver, whatever. Just interesting stuff to think about here. Dallas Cowboys, fake team, in my opinion. Dak Prescott's a little bit banged up. I mean, let's go. Fine, but just interesting stuff to think about here. Running game has been great past couple weeks. Interesting stuff going on in Dallas. Trayvon Diggs, most overrated defensive player in the NFL right now. Okay, I don't care about interceptions. Yeah, he has 9 interceptions this season, whatever it might be. But he gets burned almost every play besides those. All I'm trying to say here, that's about for At the Buzz this week. That's about for my Cowboys take. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. That's about for that this week. Now, the best for last, everybody. This week's question of the NBA starting this week. How will the Phoenix Suns do this year? Will they make the NBA Finals again? Will they win the NBA Finals this year? We got that whole weird situation going on with DeAndre, and they paid Mikal Bridges. They paid everybody else. They paid Cameron Payne. What about DeAndre and the number 1 pick 3 years ago? Interesting stuff to think about here. How do you think the Phoenix Suns will do this season? How do you think everything will play out? Leave your answer in the comment section. That's about for question this week. That's about for Squirt Sports and Land Frick, episode 53. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Squirt Sports on Instagram at Squirt Sports. Follow Squirt Sports on Twitter at Squirt Sport. Follow Squirt Sports on TikTok at Squirt Sport. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review for the best sports content in the world. We'll be back here next week in episode 54. Stay tuned.